Hello, Donnie or Donnie. I'm not sure which one it is, but hello. Hello, Ditter. Thank you for the gifts. Hello, everyone. All right, so we're going to get started in just a few minutes. Let's just wait a couple of minutes for some people to arrive, and then we will get started. And what are we going to do today? Today, I'm going to read from my blog. So, some people, maybe they don't have the patience to want to read an article. I find that to be very sad, but I think there are many people like that. So if you don't have the patience to read the article yourself, then I'll read it for you. Okay? And I think that there might be many words you don't know, many phrases you don't understand. When I wrote these articles, I did not really want to limit my vocabulary or my language in any way. So they might be challenging for you. So it could be good. It could be good reading practice for you. Okay? And you'll have a chance to ask me questions about things that you don't understand from the articles. All right? That's what I'm going to do. And if nobody's interested in that, then I'm just going to work on writing another article. Hello, Joy and Mora. Hello. Is this being recorded? It's on my YouTube, so yes. Okay. We have enough people here. It's like a classroom. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. Okay, now, I'm not taking questions, and I'm not taking stage requests. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me fix that. There. Okay? Sorry. Today is not about people on stage. Okay? So, here we go. I think we're going to start with the article I wrote last night at 3 in the morning. No, I wrote it at 2 in the morning. I finished at 3:30 in the morning. So let's take a look at this article. This article is, it's called Grammar, Glamour, and the Wizardry of Words. So this article is all about the word grammar and how interesting it really is if you find out about the history of the word grammar. Okay? I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with that big. I know it's probably still kind of small, but if you want to read it, do you know how you can read it more easily? You can also open my blog. You can see my blog if you want to see my blog, or you can go read my blog after this. Okay? All right, so here it is. Grammar, Glamour, and the Wizardry of Words. Picture this. A hooded wizard stands in the glow of a torchlit chamber. The air is heavy with anticipation as he prepares himself. He raises his hands, takes a deep breath, and begins to speak. Not timidly, but not shyly, but with bold, commanding zeal. His words roll like thunder and hum like music. The rhythm of his voice feels alive. Each syllable is a spark. Each pause is a breath of wind. It's not just the words that hold power, it's the way he delivers them. Now imagine if he mumbled the same spell under his breath, uncertain, stumbling over the words. Would the magic work? Of course not. A spell spoken without confidence is a spell doomed to fail. Here's the secret. Language works the same way. Words are not just sounds, they are like magic. When spoken with the right delivery, with precision, rhythm, and clarity, they can inspire, captivate, and enchant. But when delivered weakly or clumsily, their magic fizzles out like a damp firecracker. So I'm going to stop there and see, do we have any questions so far? I'll go a little bit at a time. Or has everyone fallen asleep already? No questions. All right, I'll just keep blabbing. Okay, from wizards to words. The word grammar doesn't sound magical, but its history tells a different story. Once upon a time, grammar wasn't just about punctuation and sentence structure. It meant learning itself. Knowledge so rare and mysterious it was often confused with sorcery and magic. In Old Scots, grammaire meant both learning and the occult arts. Over time, the same root gave us glamour, which meant a spell that could make something look more beautiful or alluring. So when you think about it, good grammar is good glamour. It's the art of shaping your words so they shine beautifully. Okay, so the word grammar actually comes from a word that originally meant magic, or very rarely known knowledge, right? Like special knowledge that only a few people have, right? So that's magic. That's what magic generally is. It's thought of as special knowledge that only a few people know and only a few people understand, right? So it's interesting because it's also related to the word glamour. And when we see somebody and say, she's so glamorous, that means like beautiful, like specially beautiful, right? Well, that's because the word glamour means that someone cast a spell that made you believe this thing was more beautiful, right? So glamorous is like, wow, you're so beautiful. It's like there's a spell on me that makes me think you're so specially beautiful. Okay? So I found that to be very interesting myself. Spells, spelling, and enchantment. Ever wonder why we spell a word? It's not a coincidence. To spell is to arrange letters into a word, but it's also to cast a spell. Spelling is about the precision of the letters and the importance they have to the meaning of the words. If you spell it wrong, you pronounce it wrong. If you pronounce it wrong, the spell fails. So that's just like in real life. If you pronounce a word correctly, maybe it will have an effect, a powerful effect on someone. They'll hear the meaning of the word and they'll feel something. That's magical. But if you mispronounce the word, the power is gone. They don't have that same feeling. They're confused. Maybe they don't know what you said. Maybe they know what you said, but it doesn't sound convincing. Right? So it's not just about spelling. The word spelling is interesting because the word spell is a magical spell. It's like you cast a spell. But we also say to spell a word. And that's because the precision that's needed to spell is the precision that's needed to make magic. Okay? So even the phrase sit for a spell, there's an idiom, or not an idiom, it's just a phrase, an old phrase that somebody might say. Maybe you'll see it in a book. Somebody will say, hey, sit for a spell. I mean, sit down for a minute or a little bit of time. And why do they say sit for a spell? Because a spell is like words that are magical that you want to sit and listen to, like a story, right? So sit for a spell is like sitting down long enough to hear a story. Okay? Comes from the idea of sitting to hear a story or a song, something so enchanting that time itself bends. The word enchant itself means to cast a spell upon, coming from the Latin incantare, literally to sing upon. Incantation, chant, enchant, charm, and even carmen all remind us that language is tied to rhythm. So all of these words, an incantation is like a magical spell. To chant something, it means to repeat words over and over, like a magical spell. To enchant someone means to be so enamored by someone that you like them. You met somebody and you think they're so special. So it's like there's magic. You are enchanted, right? The French say enchanté, right? Enchanted to meet you. The Spanish is encantada, right? It's magical to meet you. That's what it means. To charm someone, again, comes from words meaning to cast magic upon you, to make you believe that someone will like you more, right? So, and it reminds us that a story well told can feel like music, and music, like language, can move the soul like magic. So when you play a song really well, it can move people like magic. But if you play a song poorly, nobody feels moved. The same thing is true with a story or with words. If you tell a story well, or you say your words well, then your language can move someone like magic. Okay? All right, next, the performance of language. Here's the thing. Words alone are only part of the spell. A great storyteller or a great speaker uses the whole performance. Pronunciation, the clarity of each word, is the focus of the magic. Rhythm and speed. Too fast and you lose your audience. Too slow and the magic fades. Projection and intonation. These are your fireworks. They tell the listener when to lean in and when to hold their breath. Body language. Even silent gestures are part of the incantation. A wizard doesn't just say a spell, he becomes the spell, and so must you when you speak. Why language is true magic. Hello, Belen. Hello, Lalita. Think about the greatest speeches in history, the most powerful poems, or the most unforgettable songs. Why do they stick with us? It's not only because of the words themselves, but because of how those words were woven, shaped, and delivered. They cast a spell that lingers. The more words you know, the stronger your spells. But the true magic lies in how you wield them, confidently, boldly, with intent. A single phrase, spoken with heart and rhythm, can enchant a room. It can move people to tears, laughter, or action. The power you already hold. Language is the closest thing that we have to real-world magic. With just your voice, you can tell a story that holds people in their seats as if they're under a spell. You can lift someone's spirit. You can change their mind or even heal their heart. But you have to cast your words with care. So the next time you open your mouth, think like a wizard. Choose your words with magical care. Say them boldly, like you mean them. Magical words are powerful. That kind of magic takes practice. So go forth and make magic with your words. There we go. Were there any words that you guys didn't know? Did you want me to go back and review some vocabulary with you from the article? Maybe you have some questions about the way I said things or spoke, the way I delivered my reading. Did you notice that when I read in the manner of a storyteller? I try to make it exciting and lively. It might be a little bit overacted, but that's okay. It's better than underacted. Okay? when you read, if you don't put the feeling or the excitement into it, then it will have none. So you have to breathe life into the words. When you read, it's a performance. Language is a performance. Hello, Mona. Thank you. You're just enjoying the speech? Okay, well, that's good too. That's good too. You know, these are things that I think about. These are things that I read about. These are things that I study. And these are ideas that I have. It's crazy to me, honestly, that we don't teach people this about the word grammar, because everyone hates grammar, and I do too. But when you think about it like this, that words are like magic, and if you deliver them properly, they have ultimate power, but if you deliver them weakly or poorly, then you have no magic. And it also, it encourages me. It encourages me because I'm not just learning a skill, I'm learning a power. That's, wow, that's cool. Right? You're not just learning a skill, you're learning a power. You're learning something that when you learn this well, you can move people. People will listen to you. You know? That's powerful. That's really powerful. How can you learn that? Well, you have to have respect for the magic of language. You have to be willing to study. You know, when you read stories about wizards, right? Not everybody decides to become a wizard. Why? Because very few people have the focus and care and dedication and patience and curiosity and attention to detail that a wizard needs. Right? So, the more attention to detail and care that you are willing to give, the more respect that you are willing to give to the knowledge, the more respect you're willing to give to language itself, the more potential power you have. The less respect you're willing to give to the language, the less power you have. So, like for me, right? I love language and I think it's great, but there are things about grammar that I hate. I hate the tediousness of some aspects of grammar. I hate the complexity of some aspects of grammar. And because of that, that limits me. If I were to let go of my hatred of those things and study them more carefully and know them more deeply, it would give me more power. So it's like the difference between a musician who knows how to read music and a musician who knows how to play but doesn't know how to read music. They both could have powerful magic, but the one who knows how to read music has the potential for far greater magic because he knows how to explore it more deeply. You know? So, if you want to have great magic with your words, if you want people to listen to you and to pay attention to you and to think that your words are good, they're well spoken, then you need to give respect to the language. You know? And if you are dipping your toes in the water, then that's not going to work. Do you guys know what dipping your toes in the water means? What does dipping your toes in the water mean? Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that. I don't know. It's funny. When I was younger, I hated delivering speeches. I hated them. But then I found the language, the music. I found the music in the language. When I read, it's like music. That's all it is. I'm playing a song. So I have to have rhythm, and I have to have intonation, and I have to have clarity, and I have to have tempo, and I have to have volume and dynamics. And it makes perfect sense to me now. Because it's just like music. Yeah. Dipping your toes in the water is not the same as swimming in the baby pool. That's slightly different. Now, dipping your toes in the water is when you go to the pool, but you're too afraid to jump in. So you just walk by the pool and you put your toe in the water just a little bit, right? You just dip it in there a little bit and you go, "Oh, it's cold." "Oh, it's cold. I don't want to get in there," right? So a lot of people are just dipping their toes in the water when they're learning something. And if you're just dipping your toes in the water, then you shouldn't expect to ever have great magic. To have great magic, you have to be willing to jump in the water. That's just how it is. You can't just dip your toes in the water and expect to have greatness. No, swimming requires that you get in and you be immersed, right? I like to think about the analogy of swimming and jumping into water like learning, because that is the courage that it takes to learn well, is the courage it takes to jump in the water. You have to be willing to jump in and take a risk. And you have to learn how to have the skill to keep your head above water while you're learning. And maybe even swim well through the knowledge. You know? Liam, I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher, I'm a music teacher, I'm a teacher. I have been teaching since 1994. Yeah. I'm drinking iced coffee. Yeah, that's kind of how it is sometimes. I've been playing drums for 39 years. Have I had my pistachios? I haven't, but they're right here. How to perform well as a storyteller. That takes practice. That's why I always tell people, if you have kids, then you have the greatest opportunity to practice English of anyone. Read stories to your kids. Get a book and read it to them. And the greatest thing about this is the book does not have to be that simple. You don't have to read the baby book, because your child is not the one reading the book. So because your child is not the one actually reading, you're reading it for them. That means you can use your level of vocabulary, which no, they don't understand, right? They don't know, but they do if you perform it well. So reading a book to your child is just like seeing Shakespeare on a stage. If Shakespeare is performed well by really good actors, then the language is very difficult to understand when you read it. But if you see it when it's performed, you'll know, you'll be like, wow, I get it. I see he's angry. He's angry and she's sad because of something. Oh, he died. Oh, I get it now, right? So even when you can't understand Shakespeare, if you see it performed well, you will. The same thing is true for your children when you read stories to them. If you read it well, if you perform it well, right? Do all the voices and read with enthusiasm, right? They will understand. It's magic. That's the magic of words, that kids will listen. If you perform it well, they will listen. Even if they don't understand the words, they'll listen. It's all about your performance and your magic. You know? So I remember when I was a kid, you know, we would go to the library sometimes in the middle of school. We'd go to the library when we were really young, and they'd have story time where they'd have some teacher would get a book from the library and sit, and we would all sit down on the ground and they would read the book to us. And the teachers would do their best to read like a performance. They wanted you to be like you're watching a movie, like it's like right in front of you. It's an live action movie. Okay? So, yeah. If you've got kids, read to your kids. Read to your kids. Okay, now let me see. Did anybody else say anything, comments that I need to read? Let's see. How can you swim like a dog? Jump in the water, move your arms and legs. Now you're swimming like a dog. Does using a script help to speak more naturally later? It depends. I wrote this. What I just read to you, I wrote it, okay? Now, let me tell you something. Did I use ChatGPT to help me write? I did, okay? I did, absolutely I did, okay? However, the way that I use ChatGPT is not like most people. That article, I wrote 2 articles yesterday. I spent a great deal of time on them. Hours. That means I went and I said, here's what I'd like to write about. Here's the basic part of it that I have. And then I'd ask it to improve upon it. And then I'd say, okay, but no, this is not right. This is not good. I don't like this, but I do like this. Keep this, but add this. And I do that for hours until I carve out exactly what I want. Okay? And often I don't use much of what it gave me. Often I just allow it to correct some things like punctuation or grammar, or I allow it to reformat my language a little bit, but for the most part, it's me, okay? Now, the question was, does using a script help you speak more naturally? It does. If it's your writing, it probably would. If it's or if it's a script that you have rehearsed, if you practiced it, then yes, probably it will. Yeah. Yes, Jaja, I began teaching drums and music when I was 18 years old, and that was in 1994. Thank you very much, Rosie. I appreciate that. You have to teach your kids language first. You have to teach your kids your language first. Amal, you can do both. You can do both. As a matter of fact, that would be a great thing. Get Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, right? The famous Arabian Nights. Read Arabian Nights in Arabic and read it again in English. And then you can read it again in French. The kids are like sponges. Kids are like sponges. You'd be surprised what kids can learn. Okay? I learned the words to Frère Jacques when I was a kid. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sommes le matin, ding dang dong. I remember that from when I was like 3. We learned that when we were like 3, 4 years old. That's French. Kids learn. You just have to let them. Belen, I bet you're a great storyteller when you read to your kids. But it's more difficult in front of people. I used to do that only in front of kids. Well, it's also good practice. Reading to your kids is good practice because you know your kids, you love your kids, you're comfortable with your kids. You're the adult, you're the authority, so you don't feel that you have to worry about being embarrassed in front of your kids, usually, right? So it's good practice, but then you should try to read something or say something or give a speech in front of real people. Adults, I mean. Can I give you some examples of books to read for children? Geez, there are so many. It depends on what age, but God. If your child doesn't have a lot of books, fix that problem. Every child should have a lot of books. And when you're young, it's better if they have the real book in their hand, not a digital book. No. When they're young and you're reading initially, when you learn to read, learning should be tactile. Tactile means real, like you can feel it, you can touch it, okay? But if you have a good learning experience with tactile reading, then later you can read with digital reading and it's okay. But still, many people like a real book better. So, I don't know, there are so many. I don't know. I have a whole bookcase full of children's books right over there. Okay, let's see. Using puppets is good too, sure. I look more handsome than before. Well, isn't that funny? We all have pretty days and ugly days, and sometimes we have pretty ugly days. Henry, you're very close, my friend. You're very close. Do I know some Arabic? I do know a little bit of Arabic. Sure. What's my advice to become an ESL teacher? Get your certification. To be honest with you, It probably doesn't matter that much which certification you get. It depends a little bit on where you live in the world. In certain parts of the world, they prefer certain certifications over others, right? Like in Europe, I think the CELTA is one of the better ones that they prefer, which is a more difficult one to get. But most places, if you just have a TEFL or TESL, TEFL certification for teaching English, then you'll be fine. I do. That would be one. Get your certification. It will help you some. But then the second advice I have about becoming any kind of a teacher, but definitely an ESL teacher, is go do it. Find someone that you can start teaching and start teaching. Because teaching is something that honestly cannot really be learned in books. Teaching is something that can only be really learned through experience. And hello, Chloe, good to see you. Yes, I was teaching drums at the age of 18. I was pretty good. I wasn't amazing, but I knew a lot, and I'm obsessive. If you didn't notice, I have a very obsessive mind. And at the age of 16, I became extremely obsessed with drumming, and I did nothing but drums for those 2 years. And I learned a lot. And I also went to a very good performing arts school where we got a better education than most people about music. So yes, I started teaching at the age of 18. I was also very arrogant. The idea that I should teach at 18 was just because I was arrogant. You remember a t-shirt you wore from that time? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Anand has a question. I'm going to take a picture of Anand's question because Anand, I'm going to make a note and I'm going to write an article about it and put it on my blog. Okay, Anand? So Anand has a good question about how he says, when I stand to present my report to management, should I work on my fluency or fear? So I'll try to make a video, or not a video, I'll make an article about that first and post it, okay, on my blog. But Anand, what I just said was that language is like a performance. How do you get to be a great performer? How does a great performer become a great performer? They have to perform a lot. So what I would say is, Anand, the more you do it, the more you give reports to your management, the more confident you will become. So every chance you get to give a report or to do something like that, you should. You should think about it like you're counting them. Like, have I done 100 yet? Once I do 100, then maybe I'll feel better. Or maybe when I do 200, then I'll feel better. Okay? Once you do 100, you'll feel better, I promise you. You'll feel confident. Okay? So start counting. Okay, let's see. Hello, Sama from Sudan. Hello, Huda. I am not married, no. I'm married to life. Even in life, you have to perform that will help you in certain situations. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, performing is acting, and acting, everybody has to act in life at times. Acting is taking on a different attitude. It's a different personality. It's a different persona. So you might be a shy person. Maybe you're a very shy person. But then you see somebody hurting your daughter. Your little daughter. Are you a shy person anymore? No. Now you're not a shy person now. Suddenly you're another person. Right? You're angry, you're upset. You're not shy. So it's like acting. You're performing. Now you have to be a different person because you're in that situation. Okay? Every situation in life requires you to perform in some way. Anyway, so I was reading from my blog. Guess what? You're in luck. You're in luck. Where is it? Anand, are you still here, Anand? Guess what, Anand? I forgot, actually. Anand, the question you have about should I work on fluency or whatever, I'm going to read the next article from my blog, which is actually the 4th chapter in my book. And this might help you. Okay? This might help you. All right, so let's go look at my blog again. I'm only going to read this one more, and then that's it. Now, if you want more, you know how you can watch more? You can go to my blog. All you have to do is go to my blog, and you can read as much as you want. Okay? You can take your time. All right, let's take a look. Chapter 4, Embarrassment is your enemy. How play can give you courage. Let's take a look. Embarrassment is your enemy. How play can give you courage. It's normal to be scared of lions, or tigers, or bears. We even have a kids' campfire song about it. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Those things are real, dangerous things. Things that can actually hurt you. But words are not lions. Words are not bears. They cannot bite you or chase you down. Yet somehow many people are more terrified of speaking the wrong word than they would be of fighting a lion. That fear isn't natural. It's like stage fright. It feels huge and overwhelming, but it's really just a trick of your mind. The truth is, the worst thing that will probably happen if you say something wrong is that you'll feel a little embarrassed. That's it. A few seconds of red cheeks and a nervous laugh, and then life moves on. A little embarrassment is a good thing. It means you're trying new things. It means you're stepping out of the safe bubble where nothing grows. Right? The safe bubble. Don't be in the safe bubble. Nobody becomes great by staying comfortable. Embarrassment is the cost of the ticket you pay for mastery. Every great musician, every performer, every artist you admire has bombed on stage, forgotten lyrics, played the wrong note, and felt the sting of embarrassment. But they kept playing. They kept showing up. To be great, you must be willing to be embarrassed. The mistake nobody noticed. Here's the funny thing about mistakes. Often, the ones you think are so big and obvious Nobody else even notices. I've heard many English learners say, "I made so many mistakes, but nobody corrected me. Why?" Well, sometimes people simply don't notice because they're too busy listening to what you mean, not the grammar you used. And even when they do notice, they might not say anything, just like we don't stop our friends mid-sentence to fix them. Can you imagine? "I'm sorry, Janet, you said less people, but it's fewer people. Please restart your story." Right? We don't do that, right? When I performed music in clubs, here is something I experienced many times. There were nights I finished my performance and walked off stage thinking, "That was terrible. I made so many mistakes." But when I went to talk to my friends in the audience, they'd say, "Wow, that was a great show tonight." They didn't hear the little things I was obsessing over. They were just enjoying the music. It's the same with language. You hear every wrong thing in your own voice, but most people are simply listening to the message, not to the mistakes. The monsters in your head. Fear of embarrassment is like the monsters kids think live under their bed or in their closet. The fear feels real. It's pounding in your chest, but the monsters aren't there. We invent them. We build them in our minds, piece by piece, until they seem huge and terrifying. But these monsters are only as big and scary as we allow them to be. The moment you shine a light on them, they vanish. The stage fright of embarrassment. Embarrassment is like stage fright. It whispers, "Don't speak, you'll mess it up." Or, "What if they laugh?" But here's the truth. For many people, stage fright never really goes away. I've performed hundreds of times, really thousands of times, and I still get butterflies before I step on stage sometimes. The secret is learning how to perform anyway. Even if I'm scared, even if I'm nervous, I still have to play, I still have to perform. Bravery doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you're scared, but you act anyway. If you can't get rid of fear, that's fine. Be brave instead. Step up to the mic. Play through the wrong notes. Keep talking even when your voice shakes. Shine a light on your fear and see through it. Find your angel. And there may be some who laugh at you or mock your mistakes. Forget them. Pay them no attention, no mind. Your real friends will support you. They'll cheer when you hit the right notes and smile when you mess up, because they know you're learning. A lion does not flinch at laughter coming from a hyena. A gorilla does not budge from a banana thrown at it by a monkey. A nightingale does not stop singing its beautiful song at the intrusion of an annoying woodpecker. That's a quote from a girl named Susie Kassem, and I really like that quote. Lions don't worry about the laughter of a hyena. He's a lion. He doesn't care about the laughter of a hyena. And the gorilla doesn't care about a monkey throwing a banana. And a nightingale, it's a beautiful bird that has a beautiful song. It doesn't worry about a woodpecker being annoying. Okay? Here's another trick I like to use. Find your angel. Imagine someone who would never laugh at you. Someone who's always cheering for you. It might be your mom, your dad, your grandparent, or your best friend. Or maybe it's someone you look up to, like a celebrity, a writer, or a hero. Picture that person standing right behind you every time you speak, nodding and saying, "You've got this." Sometimes you just need someone standing behind you in your corner, rooting for you, giving you support. So imagine them. Here's some practical exercises for playing through the fear. Okay, enough talk. It's time to practice. If you want embarrassment to stop running the show, you need to get on stage, even in small ways. Here are 5 practice sets to build your confidence and prove to yourself that mistakes won't kill you. The 10 Mistakes Challenge. Your mission. I want you to make 10 mistakes on purpose this week. Yes, intentionally. Mispronounce a word. Use the wrong tense. Say something silly and see what happens. I want you to deliberately fail 10 times because I want you to see that it's not as bad as you think it is. I want you to see that most people don't care. So stop worrying so much. So go out and make 10 mistakes, right? When you mess up intentionally, you learn how little people notice or care. Spoiler, the world will not fall apart when you say, "He go to store yesterday." Okay, the world's not going to fall apart. All right? Speak with your angels. Number 2. Before your next English conversation, close your eyes for 60 seconds and imagine your angel standing behind you, supporting you, your biggest cheerleader. Say this out loud 3 times. I can make mistakes and still be amazing. Or, I can make mistakes and it's okay. Then go have a conversation while imagining your angel smiling at you, supporting you the whole time. Number 3. This is called the no stopping stage drill. Pick any paragraph, some song lyrics, or a text message and read it out loud without stopping, even if you mess up. Pretend you're on stage. Why? Because performers know that if you keep going, most people won't notice the mistake. Trust me, I've played entire shows on nights where I thought I was falling apart, but the audience loved it anyway. But it takes practice to learn how to let the mistakes fall away and not give them your attention at that moment. Your mistake is one wrong note, but the song is still playing, so you must keep going. Your mistake is just one wrong word or phrase, but the conversation, the song, is still going. So give your attention and focus to that, not to the little mistake you made. A conversation is a performance. You must keep going. Number 4, club stage rehearsal. Record yourself reading a short paragraph or speaking freely about any topic for 1 to 2 minutes, as if you're performing live on stage. But here's the rule. Don't stop or apologize for any mistakes. Just keep going as if every wrong note is just part of the song. Okay? And then reflect. Listen back to your recording and notice how the small mistakes sound compared to what you imagine. Most of the time, when you listen back to your recording, the mistakes are not as bad as you think. Okay? That's number 4. Number 5 is called the kind stranger practice. Start 3 small conversations in English this week, either online or with someone in person. And the rule for this is finish the conversation even if you're nervous or you think you made mistakes. No stopping mid-sentence to fix everything. Okay, and after each conversation, write down what mistakes you think you made. Give yourself a review. Write down, I felt really nervous, or I made the mistake that I always make with tenses, or I made the mistake I always make with a and an, right? Write it down. Make some notes. Did the other person care? Make notes about that. Did they notice? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. So here's your mini challenge for the week. Do at least one of these exercises every day for 7 days. So here are 5 exercises I gave you. Do at least one every day for 7 days. Okay? By the end, embarrassment will feel smaller, more like a background hum instead of a blaring siren. And your confidence, it will grow like music that gets louder with each performance. Okay? Final thoughts. Play. Play is wild. Play is fun. Play is sometimes rough or risky. Play allows for mistakes. It's a safe place for experimentation, for learning and growth. This perspective aligns with a growth mindset, where mistakes are seen as valuable opportunities for learning and improvement rather than failures. Think about play as a child. Jumping in mud puddles. Messy. Finger paints. Messy. Play-Doh. Messy. Playing and splashing water in the pool. Messy. Learning to ride a bike. Messy. Playing in the sandbox. Messy. Music is play. Language is play. Play is messy. Go out there and play. Speak boldly. Make mistakes. Glorious, messy, ridiculous mistakes. And laugh when you do. Every time you feel that sting of fear or embarrassment, remind yourself that bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is playing anyway. Mistakes are like battle scars. They're proof you're practicing. Proof that you're not afraid to learn courageously. Go out there and play with the language. Play is messy. That's that. I hope that helped you, Anand. Okay? Remember, everything that you do that you imagine being playful, you will do it better. Okay? When you're nervous, you can't be playful. So be playful and you can't be nervous. Get it? See how that works? It's kind of funny how that works. Okay? What if you don't like to hear your voice or see yourself? Well, almost nobody likes their voice. I hate my voice. Everybody does. Everybody hates their own voice. It's normal. Get over it. That part, you just have to get over. Okay? Everybody hates their own voice. Nobody loves their voice. Get over it. All right? Okay, so again, all of that, everything that I just read is on my blog. All you have to do is go to my blog right here. And there are many other articles that I've written. If you like those 2 articles, there are others. There are others that I think you'll find interesting. And I think I need to actually add something. I want to add something to one of my articles today, too. One of my articles is called The Lost Art of the Introduction. And it's all about how you don't know how to introduce yourself, and that's a problem. You need to learn how to introduce yourself. But there's another another aspect that I've forgotten about that I just thought about the other day. There is another good reason why you need to learn how to introduce yourself now. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because if you don't introduce yourself if you don't introduce yourself well, then I think either you are a scammer or a bot. If you introduce yourself well, there's a much better chance that I actually think you're a real person. If you're not willing to take the time to introduce yourself well, then I know you're probably a scammer or a bot. So it's another good reason why you should learn how to introduce yourself well. Every time you talk to someone, it's a chance to practice introducing yourself well. So why do you just say this? Hi. Why do you do that? You're missing an opportunity to practice. The best students are the ones who recognize more opportunities for practice. The best students are the ones who recognize more opportunities to practice. Okay? Yeah, 95% of the people on Hello Talk just do this. It's pathetic and sad. Introduce yourself. Come on. There's power in that too. That's magical. When you meet somebody and they introduce themselves well, it's magic. You're like, wow, man, that guy is impressive. That person's impressive. They introduced themselves so well. I feel like, wow, that was like royalty or something. Right? Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys will go check out my blog. Again, I'll give it to you here. Go to my blog and check it out. And if you feel inclined, then you can also give me a tip for my work. There is a way for you to click Buy Me a Coffee, and you can send me some money to support what I do. Okay? And real people doing real things is becoming more and more rare. So support it. What's the meaning of a bot? Bot is short for robot. And online, Holvin, there are many bots. They're not real people. They're machines pretending to be people. It's computers pretending to be people. That's a bot, right? Like if you go to X, right? Twitter, if you go to X, there are millions of bots there. And he knows it. There are lots of them on Facebook as well. And they know it too. And they just don't do anything about it. It's fake accounts, fake robots that are programmed to do something. They're programmed to respond to anything about, for example, anytime I comment on a page about Elon Musk, almost every single time that I do, someone will reply to my comment. And it will be an account that says, I don't know, it'll be, like a Musk company account or the Tesla company account or a family member of him, right? It's not really them. It's fake. It's completely fake. It's bots. They're bots that are programmed to recognize when somebody makes a comment that's about Elon Musk, and every time they comment, they make a comment to increase engagement and increase the analytics that show people are interested in him. So it's fake. It's a way to pretend like you have more popularity than you do. Okay? That's what bots are. They're fake accounts that are designed to give fake engagement. Okay? All right. Now, what time is it? Wow. Okay, good. You're welcome, Holvin. And Holvin, thank you for asking. It's another very important thing. As a student, it's your job to ask questions. It's your job to ask questions. So if I say something that you don't understand, if I say a word you don't know, or a phrase you don't know, or a concept that you don't quite get, ask a question. Ask a question. All right? Atia says, I just love those moments when you pause. Atia, that's because I understand the power of space. Music does the same thing. In music, it's not the notes that give the music power. It's the space between the notes. So if I speak like this and every word has the same amount of space in between each word, then each word is really boring and there is no rhythm, there is no magic to the words because every word is the same blah 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 blah. But when you learn how to give rhythm to your words and intonation and dynamics and space has power. The pause. We call it the pregnant pause. That's what it's called, everybody. It's called the pregnant pause. It's a pause that you wait a little bit longer. It's pregnant. It's a big fat pause. And those pauses, pregnant pauses, can be powerful when you know how to use them the right way. Quiet says, I clicked the link and it did not work. It never works if you just click the link. In HelloTalk, no links will open if you just click on them. You have to copy the link and paste it into your browser. Then it should work. Okay? Copy it and paste it into your browser, and then it should work. Intonation is a very prominent feature of the English language. Yeah, it is, Norman, but our intonation is a very interesting thing because there are no specific rules. They're general rules. They're guidelines, right? Like statements tend to go down. This is a statement. It goes down the stairs, right? Down the stairs is the statement. I'm saying this, right? It's intonation downward, right? Those are statements. Whereas questions, what do you think of this? It's going up the stairs, right? So there are some basic generalities of intonation. However, those are not hard rules, and people break them all the time. And as a matter of fact, the people that we find to have the most unique voices are usually breaking at least one or two of the normal rules of intonation and phrasing. For example, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken is famous for the way he speaks weirdly. He pronounces things weirdly. He puts stress on words in weird places. His dynamics, his pauses, they're really interesting. And it's deliberate. It's completely deliberate. You know, he has a very unique way of saying the words. His rhythm and his music is special. That's why he's famous, because of his voice. When do you say chop chop and when do you say so-so? DK, chop chop, I wouldn't say it very often. There are some reasons why you shouldn't say it at all, but chop chop is something that I would say only if I'm in comfortable company, right? Like if I'm with my friends or my family, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe my sister and I are cooking some food in the kitchen and we're running behind, and I'll be like, hey, can you chop that onion? Can you cut that onion? Chop, chop, please. That means I'm running behind. Do it quickly, right? But I only say that to my sister, right? If I said that to somebody else, it would be kind of rude, right? If I was working in a kitchen, unless I really trusted my coworkers and felt comfortable with them, I wouldn't say those words because it's too demanding. Plus there is a background of history that's slightly, I won't say racist, but racial, that is not always great. Okay? And then so-so is what you say when you feel something is in between, right? So, what did you think of this movie? I thought it was so-so. That means it's not good, it's not bad, it's this. Okay? Whenever you do this thing, it's so-so. Okay? It's not good, it's not bad, it's so-so. Alright? Okay. How can you learn 2 or more languages at the same time? I don't know, because I've never done that. So how would I know? Okay, sorry, can't help you with that one. I've never done more than 1 language at the same time. I could give you advice, but why is my advice better than yours? I don't know anything more than you do about learning 2 languages at the same time. I can tell you it's hard. To learn 2 languages at the same time is difficult. I would say that if I was going to learn, if I were planning to learn 2 languages at the same time, I know I would need a very, very specific plan for both. I would need to write out a very specific plan for both. I would definitely not try to learn 2 languages just like kind of, right? Like I'm kind of learning Italian, I'm kind of learning French. No, don't bother. Either do it or don't do it, is what I would say. Okay? Jump in the pool. Remember that analogy? Jump in the water. Don't dip your toes in the water. Okay? If you're going to learn 2 languages, then do it hard. Do it seriously. So make a good plan for both languages. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I need to do. Here's my schedule. Okay? Siraj wants to know about goody two-shoes. Goody two-shoes means somebody who never does anything wrong. He's a goody two-shoes. She's a goody two-shoes. Means that they are little good boys, little good girls. They never do anything wrong. Okay? So a goody two-shoes is never going to sneak out. Sneaking out means going out after your parents said you have to be in now, right? So it's 9 o'clock at night and your parents said, okay, it's time to come in. And then you come in, but then you sneak out at 10 o'clock to go hang out with your friends. Okay, then you're not a goody two-shoes if you go do that. If you say, oh, I can't go hang out with my friends because that's not right, then you're a goody two-shoes. If someone wants to learn English, how much time does it take? It takes all the time in the world. I know that's not the answer that you want, but the way I teach about language is the way I teach about music. And you can never finish learning music. There is no finish in music. If you learn to play the guitar, you are never finished. If you learn to play the piano, you're never finished. If you learn to play the drums, you're never finished. So, that's the way I approach language. There is no finish point, so it's weird to even talk about it. Okay? I have been learning Chinese for more than 10 years. I still think my Chinese is terrible, and I will need another 10 years. And then in 10 years, I'll still think that my English or my Chinese is terrible. Okay? You think I'm still learning English? I am. Absolutely, I am. 100%. I'm an English teacher. But I'm still learning English. I still learn about new words all the time. I still learn about new words all the time. I try to read particularly difficult things because I want to learn about new words. Look, where's my book? Where did I put it? Where did it go? Wait a minute. Let me find my book. Here's one book that I'm still reading. It's called The Etymologicon, and it's a book all about the history of words and a lot of really, really crazy stories and a lot of really, really deep words. Some of the words are common, lots of the words are not common. Language can't be finished. So I'm sorry. My answer is there is no finish, and that what you're talking about is you want to feel comfortable with the language. You want to feel comfortable speaking. That's what you're talking about with fluency, okay, or finishing. There is no finish, but you can reach a point where you feel pretty comfortable using a language, okay? But the amount of time that takes is very different for every single person. Right? Some people, it might take a year or two. Right? Some people, it will take 10 or 20 years or more. Okay? Still waters run deep. That means that when you see a peaceful person is usually a deep person. A person who has a lot of thoughts behind their peace. Okay, so still waters run deep means that when you meet someone peaceful, they're usually a thinker. Okay? Yes, either and either are both completely fine. There is no rule really about it. Yeah, you can say whichever one you feel is best. And Norman, remember, things like that are of no consequence, right? If you say either or you say either, no one will be confused, right? So these are the parts of language that are a bit both semantic and pedantic. Semantically pedantic. They don't necessarily matter that much, right? So things like either and either, whatever. The and the is the same thing, right? Do I say, give me the umbrella or give me the umbrella? There is a rule about it, but nobody cares about that rule, and we break it all the time. So remember that language is a formation of culture. So no, let me reform. Language is a formation of culture, but the purpose of language is not about being prescriptive or proscriptive. Prescriptive means what you should do. Proscriptive means what you shouldn't do, right? So some people say, well, you should do this when you write. And some people say, well, you shouldn't do this when you write. But there's another way to look at language, and that's not proscriptive, and it's not prescriptive, and it's just descriptive. And descriptive language just does one thing. It describes something. So, either and either, they describe something. The and the, they describe something, and so long as it describes it well, it doesn't matter. Okay? It's a hard one to say. Epicaricacy. It's a word that means that you enjoy seeing other people do well or do poorly. Sorry, when other people do bad and you go, "Oh, I'm so happy they did badly." That's epicaricacy. But that is a very, very, very rare word, not common. You do not need that word. You do not need that word in your life. Okay? Do I use the idiom in deep water? In which context? Well, usually when we talk about being in deep water, it means you're in trouble or you're in a very difficult situation. Just like when you go to the pool, there's a shallow area and a deep area, right? And it's more dangerous in the deep area, so the kids usually stay in the shallow area, right? So, to be in deep sometimes means I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. I'm swimming in deep waters. Could be I'm swimming in dangerous, risky waters. It's like a risky, dangerous thing. Okay? You still can't, how do you really use get used to versus be used to? Okay, yeah, let me think about that again. Let's see. I have notes about this somewhere. Let me find my note. So get used to is about becoming familiar with something. To become familiar, right? You're becoming familiar with the process of something, right? But be used to is already describing something that you are familiar with. Okay? So, I'm getting used to my new computer. I'm getting used to my new car. I'm getting used to my new shoes. Whatever. That means that you're becoming familiar with them. Okay? You're becoming comfortable with them. Okay? But to be used to them, oh, I'm used to these shoes. Okay? I'm used to them means I'm comfortable. I'm already comfortable. Okay? So, for example, I am used to working long hours. I'm familiar with working long hours, right? She was used to the noisy neighborhood. She was familiar. She was accustomed. She was comfortable. She was normal. You know, that was normal for her to have a noisy neighborhood. He will be used to the new schedule soon, right? So we have a new schedule. He will be used to it soon. He'll be comfortable and familiar with it soon. Okay? But then we have get used to. So you could say, it took me a while to get used to the new software. That means to become comfortable with it, right? So one is talking about already familiar. One is talking about becoming familiar. Okay? Yes, etymology is about the history of the words and where they come from, and it's a hobby of mine, and I find it to be useful. Can an IELTS score define your English ability? It could, or maybe not. There are people I know who have a good IELTS score who don't speak so well, but many who have a good IELTS score who speak very well. What's the difference between loneliness and solitude? Loneliness is a bad feeling. Solitude is just solitude. Solitude is Being alone, it's the peacefulness of being alone is solitude. Okay? So you can like solitude, but most people never, I can't imagine why you would like to be lonely. Right? So solitude is about enjoying being alone because it's peaceful. Right? Loneliness is that you wish you had other people to be with or interact with. Okay? That hairstyle really suits me. Thank you. I don't do anything for my hair. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Kosar, I don't have a schedule anymore, guys. I don't have a schedule. I'm too busy for a schedule for my live streams, okay? But here's what I will tell you. Go to my YouTube channel. Every idea that I have in my mind about learning and learning English, I have already said it all. I have said everything I can think of on my YouTube videos. They're already there. Every bit of knowledge I have. If you just watch my YouTube channel, you'll get everything from me. Everything in my book, it's there. Okay? So all you have to do is go watch my YouTube channel and study it. Now, most people will not do that. Do you know why? Because my videos are long. My videos are not the short little clips of like, oh, here's the baby food. Let's feed the baby. Let's feed the baby with the TikTok videos. The simple, easy 1-minute TikTok videos. No, I don't do that. My videos are an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long. But if you watch them, then you'll get a lot out of them. Okay? And I also have a podcast, and I also have a blog, and I also have a website. So, if you want to learn from me, you don't have to wait for me. You can go read my blog. You can go watch my videos. Okay? Every bit of knowledge I have is on my videos, and I'm writing articles every day. And honestly, sometimes my articles are better than my teaching. Sometimes. Because sometimes in my articles I have more time to explain things more carefully. And I can give you examples and I can give you exercises. Whereas when I'm teaching live, I don't really have the time to do that. So you should go read my blog. Okay? I sound British. I'm not British. I sound American. I have an American English Midland, Ohio accent. Why? Because I am from Ohio. You think I sound British only because I sound clear. It's not British. It's clarity. Clarity, my friend. The way you explain things like storytelling, but for grammar. That's what teaching is supposed to be. Teaching is supposed to be like that. Teachers are like translators for information that you don't understand. My YouTube channel, I sure can. Yeah, let me give you my link tree. That would be better than my YouTube channel. Let me find, where is my link tree? Here it is. Go to my link tree and you will find everything to follow me. You will find my blog. Let me show you. Here's my link tree right here. Okay, here's my blog. Right here, number 1. Okay, here's my WhatsApp fan club. I'm not doing too much with this yet, but I will in the future. Telegram also, I'm not doing too much with this yet, but I will be in the future, I hope. Okay, but if you have them, you can add me if you wish. Okay. This is my, I believe this goes to my YouTube right here. Yeah, it does. This is my YouTube. If you click on here, you'll go to my YouTube channel. Okay? And then here's my website. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is my YouTube channel. This is my introduction video. I apologize. Wrong. This is my introduction video, and this is my YouTube channel, and this is my podcast, and this is my profile on HelloTalk. Okay? So, go to my Linktree, and you can find everything. Okay, I'll give it to you one more time. Here. There it is. Okay, go to the Linktree. You'll find everything, Nina. Okay? All right, let's see. Bilal, yes, I am a musician, and I'm also an English teacher. Siraj, the word you're trying to say is ennui. Ennui is a French word. It means boredom, basically. A sense of ennui is a sense of boredom with life. Okay? Thank you, Iman. Yeah, Kosar, like I said, my live streams on HelloTalk, I try to do them. I try to be here at least 5 days a week. Okay? Monday through Friday, I try to be online. Okay, sometimes I miss a day and maybe I'd make up a day or something. Sometimes I'm too busy. Usually the time of when I'm on is around this time. So I have been here for 1 hour and 38 minutes. So I started an hour and 38 minutes earlier. Okay. Usually I start around 9:30 or 10 a.m. my time, which is New York City time. Okay. Bro looks like he has a weekly newsletter. Bro doesn't have a weekly newsletter yet, but Bro is working on a weekly newsletter. Is that a bad thing? Is that a dig? Is that supposed to be a dig? That's a funny dig. Bro looks like he's got a newsletter. I guess that's supposed to be a dig. I don't know. Was I a mixed race? No. What does Pioneer Day mean? Where did you see it, DK? Okay, guys, if you're new and you're just following me now or you're just coming online, hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I have been on HelloTalk for almost 12 years. I have been teaching online here, doing live streams for almost 5 years. I have 82,000, almost 83,000 followers on HelloTalk. I am a real English teacher. I have my certification as a teacher. I have been teaching for a long, long time. Okay, I love teaching. It's what I do. Okay, I'm also a drummer. I'm also a musician. If you look behind me, you can see the drums, right? But if you follow me here and you go to my YouTube channel and you follow and read my blog, then you will learn everything you need to get a Band 7 or Band 8 IELTS score. Okay? All right? Nobody can help you immediately. Help takes time. Help takes time. So what I can tell you is if you follow here, there are not too many people who do as much as I do on HelloTalk. There are not many. Okay? All right. guess what? I need to go because I need to work on my blog. I'm going to write some more articles today. Okay, another chapter of my book and a couple of other articles, maybe a vocabulary article and maybe an etymology article and who knows, maybe an inspirational article if I have time. Okay, so, oh, I forgot about these people. Hello, Abdul Rahman over there and Mariella. Oh, that's a pretty name. I like that name. Yes, Abdul Rahman, if you're still over there, I'm sorry I didn't see you earlier, but I see you now in my YouTube channel over there. And by the way, if you're ever watching my live streams and you don't have enough time to watch my live stream, right? If you don't have a VIP, so you run out of time, guess what? Every one of my streams is on YouTube at the same time. So if you go to my YouTube channel, there is a delay of a minute or so, but you can watch my live stream on YouTube with no time limit. Okay? To live in Rome and fight with Pop. I have no idea what that means. That's not a phrase, or it's not a phrase I'm familiar with. Fight with Pop. Pop would be father, right? Fighting with your father. So I don't know, is that those song lyrics or something? Thank you, Bellin. Big hugs. Big hugs. Do I like your name too? Gala? Gala? Yes, I do. It's good. Gala means a party. It's a fancy party for rich people is a gala. And there's even a kind of apple called Gala apples. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. You know, if you are a regular follower, if you are somebody who's always here, I notice you, I see you, and by the way, starting soon, I'm going to start giving more attention to the people who are always here. Okay? So if you're always watching me and you're always commenting and you like my posts and you comment on my posts and you say, hey Mark, good job. If you do those things, I will talk to you more. I will invite you to the stage more. I will help you more because I want to help the people who want to help me. I want to help the people who want to help me. So, please, go read my blog. Take a few minutes, read, write a comment. Okay? If your comment is good, I'll probably reply. Okay? Make a good comment, I'll reply. Okay? Thank you, Norman. Again, Norman, I see you here often. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's more like a classroom, right? I love teaching because I love having a group of people that I can guide, that I can help, right? The same consistent group of people. So it's nice when new people come, but it's really nice when I see regular people here who are constantly here. That is great. I really do like that a lot. So thank you to all of you. Okay? I will give you my YouTube channel one more time. Go to my link tree. My link tree is right here. One moment. Go to my link tree and you can find all of my links, everything that you can follow. Okay? Go to my link tree and you can find my YouTube and my website and my podcast and my blog and everything. Okay? And thank you, Norman. I appreciate that very much. Danke. Danke schön. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I have to go. I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Come back and see me again probably tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, tomorrow is on stage day. Tomorrow. If you have questions about English, come tomorrow and you can come on stage and ask me and talk to me on stage. Okay? Cassie, I gotta go. I'm hungry. Okay? So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.